And I also prepared a small intro by a nice lady, and I hope you can hear that. We tested it, but please let me know if you can't hear that. And let me introduce you to Natalie, our virtual assistant.
Good morning and welcome to our webinar on the impact of AI to the platform economy. My name is Nathalie, and I'll be your host for today's discussion. This webinar is presented by Fast Break One, your venture studio specialized on building and scaling new businesses by network effects. Over the past few years, we've seen an explosion in the use of AI across a variety of industries. One area that's been particularly affected by these advancements is the platform economy. Platforms like Amazon, Airbnb, and Uber have all implemented AI in various ways, and the results have been staggering. AI has enabled these platforms to provide better service, increase efficiency, and generate new business models that were previously impossible. At the same time, AI has also raised questions around privacy, data ownership, and the role of these platforms in our society. Today, we'll be exploring these topics and more as we dive deep into the impact of AI on the platform economy. We have an exciting lineup of speakers who will share their insights and experiences, and we'll have plenty of time for Q&A at the end. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn about the exciting possibilities and potential pitfalls of AI in the platform economy.
All right, so this is Natalie. I hope you could understand her voice. This is a virtual avatar I created with a tool called Synthesia.io, where you can use, you just enter your text and you select an avatar like this beautiful looking lady here, and then it will generate the video by itself. And maybe in the future we will have some more webinars run 100% virtual or run by artificial intelligence. So it was really nice, but to be safe, this whole webinar here will be run by me, by your human host, and we will go deeper into the topic of AI and what it means for platforms and marketplaces. So let me switch to the main presentation. So my name is Matthias Walter. Some of you we already know, but some of you don't know me and what we are doing. I'm CEO of Fast Break One. Fast Break One is a venture studio specialized on platforms and marketplaces. So we work hand in hand with corporates, with startups around the world, and helping them not only to discover opportunities for platforms or define the right business models, but also we co-create them together with them, launch them, scale them up into a successful business. With Fast Break One, we have so far worked together with a lot of companies around the world. As said, we are industry agnostic, so we have no specialization in a specific industry, but our specialty is really the platform economy. And I launched my first marketplace around 20 years ago when I was at a university. I had a kind of a side business. I launched my first marketplace, not knowing anything about marketplaces, but later, 10 years later, I read a book about platforms, Platform Revolution. Maybe you also heard about that. And so I learned a bit about the platform theory, and I said, hey, what you have done in the past is exactly what they describe in the book. And I'm more like a tool guy, I'm a methodology guy, I'm a process guy. And at this time, I also figured out there's not really a methodology available in the market about platforms. And that's why I launched the Platform Innovation Kit, which is a methodology, a framework, a set of canvases, like the business model canvas for the platform economy. And since 2009, we worked on the Platform Innovation Kit. It now became one of the most advanced tool sets in the world around platforms. And it's used by thousands of startups, thousands of corporates, thousands of business schools around the world, leveraging the tools. If you want to play around with the tools, you can go to platforminnovationkit.com. You can download a set for free, and you can hopefully apply it to your ambitions and apply it to your setting. So that's enough about us, who we are at Fast Break One and our toolkit we use. But today we wanted to explore more about ChatGPT, AI, and what does it mean for platforms and for marketplaces. So what we have on the agenda for today is multiple topics. The first one is about where are we at the moment with ChatGPT and AI? So is AI a new topic? Is this another boom right now? Where are we at the whole history of AI? And then in the second part, we will look at AI and platforms. So is this also a new topic for platforms, or are platforms kind of in a forerunner position in the market, like applying AI tools, techniques, insights into their business? So we will have a look at some examples. And then in the third part, we will go into what does it mean for the platform strategy? What does it mean if you have your own platform or you plan to launch your own platform? What does it mean? What is AI? What is the implication to a platform strategy? And at the end, we will also have time to go into a deeper Q&A session, where you have the chance to ask your questions, and yeah, I will try to answer them. All right, so let's kick this off with the first part. Where are we? Let's have at the moment, let's have a closer look at the history of AI. And I found this nice graphic here. I optimized it a bit for the presentation, but I found this in the internet, kind of a brief history about it, how everything started. And when you look at the timeline, then you see that artificial intelligence is not a new topic. The first mentioning of the term artificial intelligence was already in 1956. This was the year my father was born. So you see, it's quite a while since we talk about artificial intelligence, and since that we have seen multiple booms of artificial intelligence. We also have seen the first applications where maybe you remember Deep Blue by IBM, a major, bigger computer, bet the world chess champion in his game, in his field, in his expertise. So it was 100% trained on a specific area, playing chess and win against the best people in the world. So he bet the world champion multiple times, and so he kind of proved that artificial intelligence can be very good at a very specific task. And then we also have seen that artificial intelligence were incorporated also into kind of robots. So we always see that robots, like a vacuum cleaner or other, are leveraging also the technology. Maybe you knew about Roomba and the vacuum cleaners driving around at your home, cleaning each room. So they also use a kind of an artificial intelligence. Also, when we talk about Excel and you enter a formula into Excel, this is also a type of artificial intelligence. Maybe not intelligence in how we mean it, but in a terminology perspective, it's also intelligence, because something artificial, a computer, is solving a problem for you. And in this case, it maybe sums up specific numbers, or some more advanced things. They can be trained to solve more complicated tasks. But what we also have seen, and as you can see here in the timeline, in 2006, AI also met platforms. So the first bigger platforms like Facebook, Twitter, they already applied artificial intelligence because they faced a lot of data. A lot of people joined the platforms, so they had a lot of issues to handle with fraud detection, with handling multiple inputs and so on. And therefore, it couldn't be handled by humans in the office, and therefore they applied artificial intelligence to learn more and to help them to solve the bigger problems. What we then have also seen is another major boom of artificial intelligence, where we see that a lot of companies more and more invested into artificial intelligence to make it more smarter. And how can you make artificial intelligence smarter? It means you need to train them. You need to feed a lot of data into the computer, so that they can learn from the data, that they can build patterns, that they can build and train their neural networks, that you can also see what is the output. You can kind of give them some more guidance, some kind of boundaries, so you can train them. But for that, you need a lot of data feeds, and platforms collecting a lot of those data. And that's why platforms like Facebook, or maybe also Google also receives a lot of data, are in a very good position at this point in time to leverage the data they have or they receive from the humans as an input, feed it into their neural networks, and train the neural networks. So we have seen another kind of boom in the market, and what we have seen in the last months, I would say in the last quarter of a year, is another boom, where we have heard about ChatGPT and all of the tools around that. And when you look at the news, especially in the technology news, every day a new AI tool pops up and helps you to create articles in a blink of a second, creates avatars, creates videos, creates nice images, or whatever else. So you see, this is a new kind of a new kind of a wave we see AI tools for generating nice content. It's also called generative AI, where you can use the AI to create nice content like articles, blog posts, pictures, etc. And this is all possible because of the huge data they have received in the past and could use in the past, with the advancements also in the technology, like the chips they use, the technology the computers use to synthesize all the data, to work with the data, and to process the data. And short question to you: have you played around with ChatGPT or other tools like DALL-E to generate pictures or other ones? Have you in the last months played around with those kind of generative AI tools? Or would be good to know, and please can you answer it in the chat. Would be good to see how many of you are already interested in this topic and try to make their hands a bit of dirty playing around with the tool to get a kind of an understanding. Okay, how does it work? What is the result? What is really the quality of the results? And I see here, yes, even the kids do their homework with ChatGPT. And yes, yesterday there was this big announcement about ChatGPT 4, which we will also talk about. That brings in another quality level into the results. So I can only recommend everybody to use the tools. Some of them are available for free. For some, you have to pay a little bit of money, or maybe 10 euro per month or something like that, to get into the more professional versions. But it's definitely worth to play around and see and what are the results, and make your own judgment about how good it is at the moment, and how good it may be in solving your task. But as said, and as you could maybe guess, when you look at the timeline, those AI applications are not new. Right now we see or we hear a lot about ChatGPT, but when you look at the market in a deeper way, also from an investment perspective, and you check how many startups exist in the world using AI technology, then you find a lot. This is a chart generated by CB Insights. It's a major platform where you can do a lot of startup market research, see how many fundings they have received, etc. and they created this chart, and you see that it's not only about AI tools, AI development tools, it's also about that startups apply AI to create specific solutions for a specific industry, like we see here with waste management, agriculture, healthcare, etc. So in all of those industries, we face a lot of kind of challenging situations where we have to deal with a lot of data, and AI can help us to process all of the data and find the right answers. Another interesting chart I found has been created by Sequoia Capital, and they listed the generative AI application landscape towards specific, let's say, tasks. So you see in the middle, on the horizontal layer, you see text, coding, image processing, speech, video, 3D. So for those kind of categories, they listed what kind of generative AI applications exist. And you can see that ChatGPT 3 is very good in texting, in coding. So you could, for example, ask them, please write me a blog post, please help me brainstorming, and then you get a text output. And what we have seen since yesterday with ChatGPT 4 as a multimodal next generation AI tool, it can process different kind of inputs, not only text or code. It can also leverage image, speech, maybe video in the future. There were some kind of rumors that it also can leverage video as an input. It's not available right now, but maybe in the near future. But what you can see is that AI applications like ChatGPT 4 can process multiple different inputs. So you can also feed in and upload an image and say, please describe me what you can find on the image, or please do some changes to the image, or whatever. Or you can feed into speech, or maybe in the future also video. So it's another kind of quality level that what kind of data input such an AI can really process. And a last one, talking about the whole AI market. This is a chart I received from Attrach, similar service like CP Insights, where you can receive a lot of market insights, industry insights. This one summarized how many companies already received funding for being an AI startup. And as you can see, there are around 50,000 companies in their database, and the funding in total is about $138 billion in the last 2 years. So you see a lot of money from investors is flying and is flowing into those AI startups. There's a lot of more data available. You can go to the internet, you can go to those sources, and you can dive deeper into the different industries, sectors, and so on to better see it. But you see also AI is really at the moment a huge booming topic, very similar to platforms. And this brings us to the next topic of today. How are platforms using AI already? When it's so popular, and I said in 2006, there was this first meeting of AI and platform. How do they already apply it? Let's have a look at Amazon, for example, very popular platform. Everybody used it already, I assume. And you also faced a lot of different applications of AI inside of Amazon. So for example, product recommendations. So this was the first one you maybe witnessed a lot of years ago when they said, hey, other people also booked or bought this kind of tool, this kind of book or product. So those kind of product recommendations engines. It's one of the easiest ones. You can process the data, recommend some others, and you trigger a behavior. Okay, the other customer bought this book too, or this complementary product. maybe this is also of interest for me. That's why it's good to know. Other things is also what you have seen with Amazon is Alexa. They use it also for the customer service. You can go and start chatting with Alexa. You can ask Alexa. So Alexa is a kind of a virtual assistant, helps you solving some problems, getting some answers for products and so on. It's not just by play me a song or whatever, but it also helps you to get some additional answers. So kind of a virtual assistant. But also internally, Amazon is using AI, for example, for fraud detection. So fraud detection means can you identify some bad behaviors on the platform? Can you also find some kind of broken transactions where some people maybe will try to steal information, try to do bad things with the customers and so on. So they can also try to be in a more preventive mode, identify the behavior, identify data points which are not make sense at the moment. So they can also try to avoid some issues for the end customer, but also maybe for the seller and the buyer. So for both sides, and at the end, it also solves them or helps them to save time, to be more efficient, because they prevent those kind of events. What you also see is inventory management. They have big warehouses now. Of course, if you handle billions of products and you need to store them and you transfer, and you maybe also want to ensure same-day delivery. So you need also to kind of understand what kind of products people buy at which region, how to optimize everything. Also a bit of prediction, when they will buy it, how many they will buy, etc., so that you can optimize your whole supply chain, so your whole inventory management across the whole supply chain. And of course, pricing it's always a big topic. With the price, you have a direct impact also on the profitability. You also want to implement kind of dynamic pricing on your platform. You understand how trendy is this topic? How can I adjust? So, for example, in the winter times, when you want to buy a slate, the price is much higher than in the summer times. It's the same product, but they also see, based on the demand coming in, how often people are typing for things, in which regions they can adjust the pricing, so to increase also a bit the profitability. This is related to Amazon. Another one related to Airbnb, a bit like the same in the background. So you have also dynamic pricing, you have also fraud detection, but also for matchmaking. So you can also say at Airbnb, the matchmaking is different versus Amazon. So you need to also to understand how can I recommend the better host to the guests and the locations. So you also try to understand, okay, what are their preferred choices, maybe because of the history you have, the input they gave you, so you can also better optimize the matchmaking. You can also recommend guests. You can give also the hosts some kind of feedback around the guests, how reliable they are, and so on. And you can also influence the search algorithm and the search ranking because of, okay, I know the preferences, I can adjust the ranking so that at the end it becomes more and more convenient for the users to it becomes convenient and also faster for the users to find the right location in the best host. The same is also when we have a look at Uber. Uber also has to deal with a lot of data, a lot of requests. People want to go from A to B as fast as possible. Again, it's about pricing, but at the end also about route optimization. As the user wants to go from A to B as fast as possible, they want to ensure that the route the driver is using is really the correct one. It's also the right one. It's maybe the shortest one, and they are not fooled by the driver. So it's all about the experience of the users and how to ensure that you as a platform provide them an experience that they can feel safe, they can convenient, and so on. So you always need to think about how can I apply those kind of AI tools to enhance the whole user experience. The same is also what Uber did with the safety features. So they can also identify that because of the tracking of the GPS signal and the tracking, they can easily identify is the driver using the right route, the correct route? Is he driving somewhere else? Could this be a kind of a safety issue? So they can also monitor it. They maybe can also warn the guest about it, and so on. So you see, it's not only about pricing, not only about convenience, but also about safety, fraud detection, and so on, and so on. So all about what belongs to the overall experience of a user. Those are B2C platforms. Now let's have a look at the B2B platform. Maybe you heard about Siemens and MindSphere. What they have used is maybe not AI for the experience, but for the value they provide. As an IoT platform, they collect a lot of data from sensors, from machines, etc. They connect it to the cloud. They have also an app store where the third-party developers can develop and provide applications. But the main thing why users are using MindSphere or other IoT platforms is because they have a direct value from the data they feed in. So they get a kind of the biggest example here is predictive maintenance. So they feed in the usage data of machines, and AI is analyzing it, and then they can predict when will be the next optimal time to maintain the machine. So it maybe could save you some money. The same is also when you feed in machine data and process data, that they can supervise the quality. They can warn you, they can notify you about exceptions, and so on. The same is also for energy management. So you can also see how are my machines using energy, and maybe how can I optimize it. So it's all about providing a bigger value to the users at the end. And of course, when the user has a bigger value, they are also willing to pay for it and subscribe to your platform. And coming to a last example here, and maybe you have not heard about it, but eBay also applied a lot of those AI tools. And this is what you can find directly on the eBay website. You can you can type in tech and AI and eBay, and you can find a lot of articles directly written by eBay about their own AI engine in the background. They call it Krylov. It's an own AI platform they invested in, and as you can see, it helps them to optimize. As you can see in the left-hand chart, you see what is related to the user experience. So like shipment, listing, browsing, the transaction itself. So they always see, okay, what is the application, what is the use case for the user, and how can AI in the core support this use case, or can support and enhance the user experience. And I think this is a perfect example how you should think about AI and how can it help me as a platform to enhance my user experience, always starting with the user or the customer in mind. And this leads us to the next question. So how can platforms leverage AI? What is the bigger framework or bigger thinking behind? And to do that, I would like to introduce you the 5 core processes of a platform. We call them Attract, Match, Transact, Engage, and Optimize. So those are the 5 core processes. If you want to really simplify it, of course, there are a lot of flavors, but at the end, you have the 5 major core processes. And the first one is attract. You need to attract not only the consumers, but also the producers. So the supply side and the demand side, how can you attract them? How can you bring them to your platform. Second is about matchmaking. How can you really bring them together in a very, very efficient way? Third one is about the transaction itself. How can you ensure that the transaction is happening in a safe way, fast way, secure way, and so on? Fourth process is about engagement. So how do you keep those users, like supply side, demand side? How do you keep them engaged on your platform? Because you don't want to lose them. You attracted them, they did the transaction, but you don't want to lose them. So you also want to keep them on your platform. How to keep them engaged? And the fifth one is about optimization. So how can you optimize your whole business behind, your whole processes behind? How can you learn from the data you collect, and how can you also improve and make your own business, your platform operations more and more efficient? And I used this framework and I listed those AI services we identified when we looked at the platforms like Amazon, eBay, and so on. When you the charts we showed you before, and I took those AI services and mapped them towards this those five major core processes, and you can see that a lot of them are around matchmaking, transaction, and engagement. So for those three core processes, a lot of tools already are applied. This is not a fully comprehensive list here. This is just an indication, but it shows you, okay, a lot of those tools are already applied to optimize those core processes. But for Attract and also for optimize and maybe also engagement, there's still room for improvement. And that's why I would say in those areas we see currently the biggest potentials for new AI services. So yes, when you look at the history, AI is nothing new. It already is in full usage at a lot of businesses, especially digital businesses, but there's still a lot of potential for new AI services to come in. What could this be? What could those additional AI services be? I started to brainstorm a bit around it. So for example, when you talk about attract and how do you attract them, and now you know about those generative AI tools like ChatGPT and so on, or Synthesia or whatever else, you can easily understand, okay, I attract users to my platform, of course, by doing a lot of marketing. And how do you do marketing nowadays? It's in social media, email, content marketing, referral programs, etc. And all of those things require a lot of time, or required a lot of time in the past, to generate image, to generate content, to push this to social media, etc., and caught the interest of people. And now what we see is with those new AI, those generative AI tools, is that you can write a blog post in minutes instead of hours, or you can generate nice looking graphics in minutes instead of hours, and so on. So it helps you to be faster, to be more efficient. And I see a lot of those kind of tools also applied and used by platforms, for example, or other digital businesses to generate more and more content. Makes it also a bit maybe scary, because then you will be faced with a lot of more artificial generated content, and you as a human need to judge, is this really high quality content? Is it not so good content? Is it maybe is it artificial, and you can easily judge this has been pushed together, pulled together by a machine, or instead of really brain power. So it will be really interesting to see how this will be evolve in the next months and years. And what we also heard is about that we talk about ideas in the future. So it's not about the content itself, but it's more about important that you see you need creative ideas. So it's switching a bit from, I need to create content like a white paper or whatever, but I need to have a brilliant idea. And when I have a brilliant idea, then AI can help me to generate and to produce the content, but it will be, I think, kind of a competition in the future of ideas. And I think this will be interesting to see. Other things I brainstormed was about smart pricing, smart contracts. Here we also see a lot of technology advancements in the last years related to blockchain and blockchain. All the transactions are moving into a digital space with the cryptocurrencies, but also attached to blockchains are smart contracts, so kind of digital contracts. They can you can program. So, for example, if the weather is good, I will do this and this, something like that, and then based on some kind of conditions, you can create contracts and you can have transactions. So maybe something like this will also happen in the or will be realized in the near future. But then we'll also look at the end of this to the engagement part or to the optimization part. We also see that more and more virtual assistants will rise. So we have seen chatbots, but chatbots are, there's not always a good chatbot. I think at the moment it's like my experience with chatbots is not really good. I always can ask them some parts, but then after the second questions or whatever, the quality of the answer is not very good. Therefore, I'm really looking forward to some real virtual assistants, and maybe you have seen this when you in the overview of the history of AI. Already some virtual assistants started to book appointments at the hairdresser or other things. So I see a lot of advancements here, and then also I can imagine in the near future that you talk to a machine and he can give you really high quality answers related to some products or to service, etc. And what we also see is a new topic is about AI operations. So that AI helps you to optimize the whole, let's say, technical operations and development of your whole development of the platform, the technology development, and to run it, to optimize the running, maybe also to use different kind of cloud services and so on, so to optimize everything based on the usage, based on consumption of data and so on. So there's a lot of buzz at the moment also around AI operations, and I also see a lot of requests related to cybersecurity, also a major topic. Everything is moving into the digital world, so you also have to take care about the data, the user data, and the security of your systems. But for me, at the end, it always is related to personalization. So if you can further personalize, if you can enhance the experience for the user, and starting with that in mind, then it will lead you and helps you to identify at which areas you can leverage AI. Comes to the next question. Maybe you can also put this into the chat here. Which of those areas you would like to see enhanced by AI? When you look at the 5 core processes, in which areas you would like to see some advancements? Also having in mind what you have been so far at platforms, and maybe you're happy or unhappy, but where do you see the biggest potentials? Would be good to know. Another topic is around network effects, and this is a topic which is linked to both platforms and AI. And network effects are the main and the key driver for growth for both. On the left-hand side, you see the network effects of a platform, very basic scheme, but it tells you it's kind of a cross-site network effect. If you have more buyers, then of course it becomes more interesting for the seller side to join your platform and to join and sell their products or services. And the more sellers you have on your product on your platform, the more products you have. The variety of products is growing, the portfolio is growing, and then also it increases the interest of buyers to join your platform. So both sides are really influencing each other and is and driving things forward. And you as a platform, as you know, your objectives should be, how can I stimulate those network effects? How can I make it easy for buyers and sellers to join, find each other, and so on. The same is also true for AI, because AI, as mentioned earlier, is based on data. The better data you have, the more data you have, the better you can feed it into your machine. They can create better algorithms, and better algorithms will also result in better results for the user. So, for example, Google. You go to Google, you type in your search request, you get a list of, for example, websites and sources. And depending on where you click and what you like and what you not like, Google starts to learn. Okay, it wasn't maybe the top pick in the list. It was maybe the third list or the fifth point in the list. So you always, with each click, give Google a feedback about the results. And the next time you type in the same search result, you will receive a different list, a different ranking, and so on. So you, every time you click, you will Google learns, and Google can feed the data into their algorithm, make their algorithm smarter and smarter. And as you can see, if you have on the one hand side solve the chicken egg problem and grow your platforms with network effects, you have more buyers, more sellers, more producers, more consumers on your platform, the more people, more humans are using your platform, and therefore it generates a lot of more data. And with more and more data, it also helps you to train your algorithms and make your algorithms smarter. So what does it also mean for the platform strategy? And coming a bit towards the end of our webinar, what does it mean from a strategic point of view? Let's have a look at Miro. Miro is a platform, and they started, and this is what you can see on the right hand side. It's a platform where a kind of a marketplace where you could find and hire professional photographers. So for example, you are on hold on Airbnb and you need some really professional photos from your rooms, from your house or whatever, because professional photos makes it more interesting, more attractive for users to have a look and to buy and to stay longer. Therefore, you need maybe a professional photographer. And therefore, Miro helped you to find the right professional photographer and book the service, etc. At the same time, or a little bit in the next phase, what they also said, okay, we need to build our own AI component, our own image processing tool, because not every host can pay a lot of money for a professional photographer, but maybe they can pay less for a professional image processing service. And therefore, they use the data, they receive from the marketplace to train the image processing tool. So the people uploaded images, they applied some filters, etc. What you all know, and with each feedback, with each filter they applied, with each changes they did to the images, they learned, okay, what kind of changes users need, but on the other side also what is really helpful, what is not helpful. So they could also train and improve their own their whole algorithms of the image processing AI. So they built up a second kind of a business. The top business was the marketplace, where they had a business model based on transactions. So I book a service, but they also established a software as a service business where people could buy or subscribe to a monthly service for image processing, maybe €5 per month, but then I can, it allows me to use the service. So they have a kind of a hybrid business model, and we call it a marketplace enabled SaaS business, where you have both a hybrid one. And we recently talked to those people from Miro. And very interesting wise is they made a very hard decision. And that's is indicated by this stop signal here, by the stop sign. They said, okay, we need to stop our marketplace. And this was really kind of a kind of a shocking moment for me when we talked to them. Okay, you launched the marketplace. It was very successful. Then you had additionally a SaaS model, and then you stopped the marketplace. Why that? And then they said, yeah, it was a hard decision, but it was also a strategic decision because it was our marketplace. But how can we also leverage network effects maybe from other platforms? And therefore they said, okay, the bigger potential for us as a business to grow is not only to have our own network in the marketplace and our own SaaS tool, but now with this very strong AI imaging power, why not making this power available to other platforms? So leveraging the networks of other platforms. And this is exactly what they do at the moment. They provide an AI service for other platforms. So other platforms can incorporate the AI service into their own. And so and this is indicated also by the value layers on the left-hand side. They started on the engagement layer. They built up capabilities on the intelligence layer. And now they also use that experience. They use the power they created to build up a capability on the infrastructure layer, and with the infrastructure layer, they can make it available also to other platforms. And this is for me a very strong move and a new kind of strategic strategic layer and strategic moves we can identify looking at companies. If you want to hear more about that, you can also go to our podcast called Platforms for Future. And the episode with Miro will be uploaded, I think, in the next days. So you can listen to that example with Miro. But there are also other very, very interesting cases where we talked about, where we talked to founders and founders and executives of B2B platforms. So from a platform strategy point of view, how can you apply AI? It depends a bit on your long-term strategy, but basically first is you can optimize your platform business, as we said in the things, as we showed to you with the core processes. Second is you can build your own services, like we have seen with Miro and Co. And a third one is provide those services to other platforms, to other networks, and leverage the other networks. And maybe a last point I find also interesting, and maybe you had heard about that, about prompt engineering. So when you invest into AI as a company, then there's also maybe the requirement that you need to write a new job description and to find people helping you with prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is when you feed the AI with some prompts, with some input, and then they give you some feedback back. And the better the input is, the more precise. And if you also understand how to ask the AI, then also the results will be much better. So prompt engineering is also a kind of maybe a new skill you need in the future. All right, this is the end of the webinar so far with my presentation. I hope it could a bit inspire you. I hope I could a bit summarize what our thinking is around AI and platforms. And now we have kind of 10 minutes left to ask to answer your questions. Please type them into the chat or feel free to ask them live. Also, no problem. We are here for you to answer the questions. Francine is raising the hand.
Yes, thank you, Matt. Yes, it was really great. My question is on the attraction side of the the AI possibilities. Have you been seeing something right now that are actually good example of how we can use or we can think of these attraction services?
Oh, there are very good questions. There's currently really a boom around those generative AI tools where it helps you to write blog articles, generate videos, etc. Yeah, we can provide a list of that, but you can easily search around what are the top 10 AI tools at the moment. We're having generative AI tools, and you receive a lot of numbers, a lot of examples. One I used at the beginning is Synthesia. Synthesia.io is about the image or the videos. You can generate a lot of videos just by putting in things. Other things like images, you can use things like Midjourney or DALL-E. It can generate a lot of different kind of pictures. You can, for example, paint me a picture like Picasso or something like that. So you can give them also a bit of input and they generate you pictures, or you can also use it to generate complete PowerPoint presentations. There are also tools available. You give in a kind of a topic, specified a bit, maybe what is the history, or create a presentation about AI, and then it will start generating the whole PowerPoint presentation, 20 slides long, with graphics, with content. You can then later use it as a starting point, or you can use it to generate logos or complete websites. We have also seen tools where you can generate with a prompt a website, maybe a landing page, and this is something you can maybe leverage. So you say, I have a new kind of a topic I would like to test in the market, therefore I need a landing page to run an advertisement, and please help me to generate the website. So it generates. You can then click on each element, like a picture, like the headline, like the text, and then it can change it a bit, but it helps you to go forward. And an interesting part is also when you can also listen to this episode when we talk to Test Exchange. It's also a B2B platform, and what they do is they bring product companies together with laboratories running product tests. And for example, if you have an iPhone or whatever, or a product, it needs to be tested against temperature, or needs to be tested against breakage, reliability, etc. So you need different kind of laboratories, and those laboratories are certified against this kind of a different kind of a specific standard, like ISO, whatever. And so what Test Exchange did is they also said, okay, how can we attract the product companies? And therefore they used AI and automation tools to generate over 10,000 landing pages via a click. So they said, okay, there are different kind of standards, ISO standards out there. And for each ISO standard, for each topic, they generated an own landing page, because the product companies, they are searching Google for, hey, laboratory according to the standard. Then they found the landing page, and the landing page attracted them and pulled them into the main marketplace. So you can see it can automate, and if you would pay an agency to generate 10,000 of landing pages, it would be a massive amount of money. But with automation, AI, you can do this via a click. Maybe not perfect, but totally sufficient, and compared to generating them all by yourself.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So where do we, if we want to do some kind of AI that can generate those 10,000 or landing pages, how do we go about finding those? What's the process?
You mean how to find the right tools for generating those 10,000 landing pages?
Yeah.
Oh, very good question. I haven't done that so far, but I would recommend you can reach out to Malte. Malte Source is the co-founder of Test Exchange, so feel free to reach out to him. Say greetings from Matthias, and then he knows where you are coming from. I can also ask him, and maybe I can generate a post on LinkedIn or whatever about the tool they used. I'm not knowing the tool right now. I know they do it, or they have done it. You can also listen to the podcast episode, Test Exchange, and then you hear more about it. But the tool itself, I don't know. But I can try to do a bit of research and come back to you.
Thank you very much.
Other questions from other
Hi,
people?
Matthias. This is Matthias from API University. Very good presentation. Thank you very much. Question about replatforming. Isn't the new platform now the AI? And do other platforms really stand a chance against this, I would call it, super platform of the AI? Won't this kind of displace all the other platforms? I mean, operating systems are platforms and other things that we build on top of, but will this AI revolution kind of make all other types of platforms redundant?
Yeah, very good question. I don't see it as redundant. I see it now comes closer and closer together, as we could see. So the user, like you and me, we always have a specific use case in mind. We want to buy a product, we want to book a car, whatever else. And therefore we always have the use case in mind. And this is always the starting point of our journey. And then it depends. So an AI itself can, at the moment, can be also a kind of a platform. So like Alexa, or like what we see, we can also ask Alexa, please book me a taxi, or please book me an appointment at the hairdresser. This is, I think, easy to achieve. So the AI itself becomes also a kind of a platform, but behind the service, there needs to be a company, there needs to be a kind of a business model. So how does Amazon, for example, they have their business model is the marketplace and other services. You maybe subscribe to Prime or whatever, but the business model behind is always belonging to a company, and they offering you the service, and they leverage AI. So I think yes, we will see different interfaces or different interfaces and how we interact with a platform, but at the end, it's always a kind of a platform business we interact with. Yeah. So it's for me like a merger and leveraging the technology.
Thank you.
All right. I see also some people already need to leave. I think also we are through with our presentation. It's 12 o'clock. Thank you very much for joining. If you have any questions, please feel free to connect with us via LinkedIn, or you can also subscribe to our newsletter, and then you will receive a lot of more insights. Thank you for joining, and have a nice day. And yeah, let's stay in contact. Bye-bye.